Have you ever fallen in love with something after one experience? Well, that was me, a sheltered 18-year-old who just graduated high school and didn't know what life had to offer. Growing up, I was taught to always stay within my comfort zone and to just stay focused on my education. It never really bothered me that I never really got to travel, and at that time, I had only traveled to 2 states and drove through a handful. My family rarely traveled, and when we did, it would be to visit other family, and we would usually just be stuck in some old relative's house all day. Every summer vacation, I would pretty much be at home playing video games for the whole break, and when I would go back to school the following year, my friends would tell me all about their vacations. On top of that, I had no idea what to say when teachers would make me stand up and tell them about my summer. My classmates would just have stories and experiences galore, and it just made me envy them, and it just made me want to go out and adventure. But on May 25th, 2018, my family made the decision to go on an adventure and explore Big Bear. This trip showed me that life isn't only about getting your degree or getting your career, but instead, it's about the journey you take to get there. I know that line is super cliche, but I never really understood it until I went on this trip. So fast forward a couple of months later, and I was still wanting more of an adventure in my life. So from that day on, I would save as much money as I could to afford another one. And so, on January 13th, 2019, I grabbed a couple of friends and drove up to Yosemite National Park for the weekend. This was my first adventure without parents. We drove throughout the entire park, got out, and I had to take some sweet drone footage. And after that, we just bonded over the beauty that Yosemite had to offer during the winter. Later in that year, I went on a couple of micro adventures with family and friends as well. Those taught me that adventure could be in my own backyard. Yet, I wasn't satisfied with where I was in life, and I wanted more. So, I decided to go on a solo vacation to the place I've seen in so many vlogs, New York City. Now, this trip was for me to experience something I've never done before. I had saved up my money, and I said to myself, if not now, then never. So on January 7th, 2020, before the pandemic even started, I got on that plane and flew to New York. I visited Times Square and saw huge billboards. I drove bikes through the streets of New York. I ate dollar pizza, and most of all, I explored New York. We're in Central Park, baby! Woo! We're in New York ice skating! Ah! This trip really showed me how much I've been missing out on and how much more there is to experience. Then, the pandemic hit hard, and everything was put on a pause.
We need to bend the curve in the state of California.
The governor ordering people to stay at home after official estimates predicted more than half the state's population, 22 million, could become infected with coronavirus within the next 8 weeks.
Fast forward May 22nd, 2020, my family said they were tired of staying at home, and we went to Lake Tahoe. Yes, we did practice social distancing, we used hand sanitizer and wore masks everywhere we went. Lake Tahoe instantly became one of my favorite places in the world because of the beauty it held. The vast number of trees, the winter snow, the greenery, all in one place. My family and I swam in the lake, drove up the mountain, and played with the snow. Then, we just took some time and looked at the amazing wilderness in front of us. Now, we're here, June 19th, 2020. I'm going on a spontaneous adventure with my family, and we're staying in Nelson, Nevada. And that's where my story picks up. For the trip, we stayed in Las Vegas for the night, and the last full day of the trip, we ended up going to this place called Nelson's Landing. It was absolutely beautiful with the landscape, the people, and the water, and it just made the atmosphere so much better. Once we got there, the first thing I did was run straight into the water and snap some photos of the river. Some time passes by and we end up meeting the people next to us. They're super nice. One of them's name was Rick, and they ended up letting us use their kayaks.
But the people next to us, where we're beached at, literally just let us borrow kayaks. Super nice people. But now we're like out here. Like crazy. What?
Now, after we went to return the kayaks to the family, they invited us to go cliff jumping with them. Now, for me, I knew this was there, but for me, it just looked intense. At the time, I was so nervous and I didn't want to do it, so I ended up sitting back and watching other people jump. Then I remembered that life isn't an adventure if I don't take risks. So I walked up the trail and stared down the cliff, someone whispering that I wouldn't do it. My heart racing from my fear of heights, the adrenaline rushing through my veins, and at that moment I said, F it. My body feeling weightless in the air was one of the greatest feelings I had ever felt in my life. My feet hitting the water and breaking the surface tension, that first breath of air, that is what adventure feels like. And I tried to do a gainer because I said why not. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I really hope you guys enjoyed it and, got something out of it. I hope it sparks a little something in your heart to go out and adventure and just continue to pursue those new things that you've never tried before. It may be small, it may be big, but, go out there and chase it. My name is Sticky Rice, and I hope you guys enjoyed. Please leave a like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys soon. Peace.